Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the New Day with Natalie podcast. In this episode, we are going to be talking about what avoidantly attached people crave during no contact, okay? Like, they need this thing during no contact to thrive, to feel like themselves again, to feel like they actually want to reach out to you and get back together, okay? So if they get this thing that they are absolutely craving, then there's a more likely chance that they will reach out to you, okay? But if they don't get this thing that they are craving, then they won't reach back out to you. They won't want to get back together with you, okay? Let's first talk about what avoidantly attached people are feeling right after a breakup, because I know you're super confused. You just went through a breakup with the person that you literally thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, and then you see them, your now ex, on social media living their best life. And they're hanging out with friends, like they're traveling, like they're literally so happy. And you're just like, why weren't you like that when you were with me? Like, was our entire relationship fake? Or if they start dating someone else, you're just like, is this a rebound? Or like, were you seeing them when you were dating me? And so it can make you feel very shitty, very alone, very hurt, okay? But even though you feel all those things, you still want them back, okay? And that's why you're listening to this episode. So I see you, and this one is for you, okay? So right after a breakup, an avoidantly attached person feels happy. They're joyful. They finally are free. They can do whatever they want. It's just like this huge relief because their schedule is 100% theirs. They control everything again, okay? They're not feeling regret. They're not feeling remorse. They just feel peace and happiness. It's like you're a child in an ice cream store and your parents just bought you an ice cream cone and you're like, yes, I've wanted this ice cream for so long. And you're licking that ice cream cone and you're so happy. The ice cream's so sweet, so satisfying. You're just like, I am so happy. That is what your avoidant ex feels, okay, after a breakup. They've wanted that ice cream. They've wanted that freedom for so long. Now they're licking freedom. They're getting a taste of that ice cream, the taste of the freedom. And they're like, this is awesome. They feel like themselves again. That's really what's going on, okay? They're getting a grip on their identity, okay? And they're protecting their ego, protecting themselves. And they're doing that in the only way that they know how to, distancing themselves from everyone, everything that could be a possible threat, aka you, and just doing things on their own. Being autonomous, self-protecting, everything in their life, and finding a level of security and safety that makes them feel like themselves again. Because when they do everything on their own and they're in control of everything, they feel like themselves. They feel like they did when they were 5 years old and they had to figure it all out on their own. So at this point, they basically believe that they've made the best decision ever to leave the relationship because the taste of freedom is so good. Just like the taste of ice cream is so good, okay? I eat dairy-free ice cream, but it's still amazing. It's just shocking because like last week you could have been like sleeping in the same bed, texting, talking to each other, and like they literally could have told you like, I care about you so much, like I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And then like a week later, aka today, you're broken up, they're acting cold, they're distant, and they're completely detached, and you're completely on your own, and you're lost, you're confused, you're sad, your life is like all over the place, and you're just like, how could this happen so fast? Like literally last week, everything was fine. The reason why there's such an extreme transition from when the avoidantly attached person is so loving and caring and like wanting to be with you versus like the breakup, the detachment, the distance, the cold feeling, right? Is because avoidantly attached people are experts at emotional disconnection or detachment. It is a protective mechanism that they have learned ever since they were younger. Okay, so they've been mastering that skill since they were a little bitty 5-year-old child. Okay, I just said 5 years old, but it could have been younger. They learned when I disconnect from my emotions, I can protect myself. When I don't feel emotional towards something, when I'm not invested in something, then I won't get hurt. I won't feel that emotion of pain, of being let down, of being left all alone, of being rejected. And so why feel emotions at all? Whenever I get too close to that, I'm going to back away and then I'll be safe. And that's exactly what they did with you, okay? So it's not that they never had feelings for you. It's just that they didn't know how to handle the emotions when they felt them. They didn't know how to turn them off. And so what they decided to do is run away in order to feel safe. Okay. So now that you guys are broken up and you're in no contact, the number one thing that they're craving is space. Okay. They want to feel like themselves again. They want to feel the freedom. They want to find themselves again. They want to figure out like their identity of like who they were before you. They want to feel that autonomy that makes them feel so strong, so self-reliant upon themselves. Like they want to feel like they are powerful. All right. And they crave alone time. They just want to be by themselves to like reflect, to listen to their thoughts, to just plan out their days and do absolutely nothing if they want to, or just study and learn and just like indulge themselves into a book or a movie or walking outside or seeing new friends or dating new people. They want to make decisions without any emotional obligations. Okay. And being in a relationship with you, force them to check in with you, force them to watch over you to make sure you were okay because they cared about you, force them to explain themselves to you when they were busy one day, when they couldn't hang out with you one day, when they couldn't see you or comfort you one day because they just didn't have it in them, okay? And being with you meant that they had to explain themselves when you guys got intimate, and they had to explain why they're uncomfortable, or just be like, listen, I don't want to do this. And they didn't want to hurt you, but they didn't want to make themselves uncomfortable. So now they don't have to deal with any of that. When they have space, when they can just enjoy the things that they actually want to do and not have to do the things they don't want to do when they're in a relationship with you or anyone, it makes them feel really good. It makes them feel like they're finding themselves. It makes them feel like they could be ready for a relationship later. It's like they're resetting and recharging their batteries, okay? They need their batteries to be at 95% in order to come back to you. The second thing that avoidantly attached people crave during no contact is control, okay? Let me tell you, your avoidant ex controls you, okay? They are moving you like a puppet. You check your phone every single morning to see if they texted you. And it's been months since the breakup. There's like a 99% chance they will not text you tomorrow or today because you're not in a relationship. There's no obligation or reason for them to reach out to you. But you're still checking your phone. You're still listening to the songs that they gave you. You're still thinking in the way that they showed you. You still are traveling to the places that you once went with this person. Or you're still posting things on social media because you think that your ex is going to see it and that's going to start a conversation. They are controlling you. Your actions and behaviors are literally all fueled by your ex, okay? And they live in your head rent free. And I know you don't like it, but at the same time, you kind of do because it's the last connection you have to your ex. And once that's gone, you will actually lose yourself. And that's a terrifying thing. So to cover that all up, you have this fear of losing your avoidant ex, okay, which they're already gone, but in your head, it feels like you're emotionally still connected. All right. So, wow, that was kind of a rant. So avoidantly attached people crave control. Okay. They like control because it makes them feel like they have power. If they can control you, then they can actually return back to you at any point in time and have you again. All right. And that makes them feel good. It's kind of like you are the option that they will take when they are ready to be in a relationship again, if that's their mindset. Okay. But avoidantly attached people like control because that is what makes them feel safe. They are not the type of people that just like go with the flow each day or just like go on vacation and just see wherever the world takes them. Like they need to control things, their schedule, their time, the people in their lives. Like they like to control things so there's not too much randomness in their life, because if there's too much randomness and too many random people, these people can make them uncomfortable. It could be a threat. And then that would make them uncomfortable, that they would need to distance, find their space, find control in order to find their safety again, okay? So during no contact, avoidantly attached people just feel powerful because they were the ones that chose the distance. They were the ones that said, I'm ending this relationship, okay? And so they have the control, right? They have the control over the relationship, over themselves, and over you. The absence of pressure feels like peace to them. So when you are not pressuring them, when you're not like, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you are trying to take control over the relationship, then they finally feel that this absence of pressure is actually a peaceful experience. And that in itself is what they are craving during no contact. They want to feel control. They want to feel at peace. They want to find themselves, okay? And the third thing that avoidantly attached people are craving during no contact is emotional detachment. They don't want to feel any of the emotions. They want to let go of all of them. They want to numb them. They want to burn them. They're just like, done. You, watching this, have a lot of emotions. You wanted the relationship to move faster, just like your avoidant partner did at one time. But you didn't give up. They did, okay? And so when things got too emotional, too vulnerable, too intimate, they decided, listen, this is too much. This isn't comfortable. I don't know how to handle these emotions. Normally what I do is just shut them off. So the fact that you're wanting to like feel them through and share and open up, like this is making me really uncomfortable. I've got to go. And that's when they break up with you, okay? So in the early stages of no contact, avoidantly attached people definitely crave detachment so that they can finally feel like they are free enough to just move on and do whatever they want in their life. Even if those feelings for you are still there, they're just buried very deep. They don't want to feel them. That's why they numb and they forget and they're just like, you know what, this didn't happen. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to live my life. I'm finally getting this taste of freedom and it's wonderful, okay? So they really enjoy that emotional detachment. Now, I wanted to introduce this concept to you guys called the polyvagal theory, okay? It was developed by Stephen Porges, and it basically explains the automatic nervous system, ANS. It basically explains how the automatic nervous system influences social behavior, emotional regulation, and responses to perceived threats. So I'm going to throw up a picture here on this video. If you're watching the podcast, I did upload the video as well, so check that out. But basically, this is what your nervous system looks like, okay? So at the bottom, you'll see the ventral vagal, okay? That is a part of your parasympathetic nervous system, and it is associated with feelings of safety, social connection, and calm, okay? So in other words, that is where you want to be all the time. When you are with your partner, that is where you typically are. You feel joyful, you feel mindful, you feel compassionate, okay? You are open, you are in the moment. When people are in this state, this nervous system state, they feel very calm and at peace, okay? So when your avoidant partner broke up with you, they wanted to come in tune with their ventral vagal system again. So basically your avoidant partner was dating you right before the breakup. They were showing up in the dorsal vagal section, okay, which is a part of the parasympathetic nervous system. And the dorsal vagal is linked to immobilization, shutdown, and a freeze response in situations of extreme threat. So your avoidant partner was feeling extremely threatened in the relationship. They started to shut down. They started to numb themselves. They started to feel shame, dissociation, depression, helplessness. They felt trapped. And so they broke up with you. And when they finally felt the freedom again, okay, they went straight to the ventral vagal system, okay, which is where they felt at peace, mindful, joyful. And that's where they need to be in order to get back with you, okay? If they're still in the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system, or if they are in the freeze dorsal vagal nervous system, then there is a very good chance they're not going to return to you because their system is basically saying something bad could happen. I need to be on high alert, okay? And when you are on high alert, it's really hard to fall in love with someone, to build connection with someone, to want to go deeper with someone because you think the person you're talking to or the environment you're in is going to hurt you in some way, all right? Now, you watching this video, you could actually be in the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system right now, which is a part of the sympathetic nervous system. It's basically mobilizing the body for action in the face of perceived danger. So you are in your fighting mode, right? Like you are angry, you are feeling a lot of irritation and frustration, but you're also feeling some flight, right? Like you have anxiety, you have worry, you have panic, and it's a toss-up between both of those emotions, fight or flight, okay? Maybe sometimes you move into that dorsal vagal nervous system where you just like completely shut down and freeze when you're just like, what do I do next? I'm just like lost. But a lot of times I find anxiously attached people are stuck in that sympathetic fight or flight mode, all right? So I just wanted to bring this up because it kind of explains like why we act the way we do when we feel like we are threatened and why we fall in love with people and what's going on in our nervous system when we're comfortable and safe, all right? Let's say you want to reach out to your avoidant partner and it's actually way too soon. Like, it's only been a couple of weeks, but you decide you want to reach out anyway, okay? If you decide to chase your avoidant partner when they are still struggling in the dorsal vagal nervous system mode, then they are still in their shutdown mode, right? Like, they are feeling shame, they are dissociated, they are feeling depressed, they are feeling helpless, they are feeling trapped. There's no way in hell they are going to be open to having a conversation with you, okay? So you definitely don't want to reach out to your avoidant partner right after a breakup. It takes a little bit of time for your nervous system to be deregulated, okay? You have to learn how to deregulate your own nervous system to begin with, all right? If you reach out too early, your avoidant partner will probably pull further away because all they wanted and craved was space, some peace, some silence, and just no emotional demands. But if you're already reaching out, they're going to be like, oh yeah, here's the reminder for why I left you in the first place. So I would just recommend not reaching out too soon, okay? And also, contacting your avoidant ex too soon after the breakup will also disrupt that feeling of I miss you, okay? And they'll start to resist those memories and resist this urge to want to reach out to you, right? Or maybe even resent you altogether because they're like, you don't stop. You have all of these emotional needs and I will never be able to give that to you. I just can't, right? So the only thing you can really do here in the beginning of a breakup is just to respect their silence and give them a ton of space, okay? Okay, let's talk about the shift. When your avoidant ex starts to feel like, wait a second, maybe I don't want to be in this no contact anymore. Okay, so over time, it could be weeks, it could be months, it could be years, the avoidantly attached individual, your ex, will start to feel a little off, all right? They'll feel like something is missing. They'll feel like the emptiness that they once enjoyed starts to feel a little too quiet, all right? Like just being all by themselves all day long, all night, it starts to get old. It starts to get lonely and they'll start to feel like actually sad. And it's just like the sound is so quiet when I'm all by myself, okay? And that's when they'll start to question, like, did I make a mistake? Is this my fault? Like, why don't I feel as free as I thought I would, okay? And when those thoughts start to appear, that's when the shift is happening, okay? But even at this stage, when they have those thoughts, they're not going to reach out to you, okay? They're still processing and they're still battling their own conflicted emotions, okay? So you might be wondering, well, how long will it take? How long do I have to wait, all right? And what I'll say is there's no exact timeline because everyone's relationship and situation is completely different, but it's usually around 2 to 6 months after a breakup. That's what I see. Sometimes it could be longer if the relationship breakup or just the relationship in general was more serious. So here's what will happen when they do start to feel emotions for you again though, like after they got everything they wanted from no contact, they won't reach out to you directly, okay? Instead, what they'll do is just start to test the waters. So that could be anything from like watching a story or like putting a comment on a post, like just little things, right? Or they could, what they're doing is asking themselves like, are you still there? Are you still available? Are you still waiting? Like, is this an option even? Okay. And if they sense that you are emotionally available and you're not dating anyone else, then they'll want to come closer. But if they feel like you are still emotionally charged and you want them to give you the energy and you want them to be emotionally present and like get intimate and vulnerable like right away, like they know you're still very much in love with them, then they will continue the distance. They're not going to come back to you, okay? But if they truly feel like you have moved on, like you've worked on yourself, you feel good about yourself, if you truly feel good about yourself and you are happy and living your best life, that is magnetic, that is attractive, and they won't feel pressure from you. And so that will make them want to come to you, talk to you, see what's new, see if there's an option for you guys to get back together, okay? And they'll know that you're an option. Now, the one reason why they wouldn't come back to you at all is if they know like you've 100% moved on, like you're dating someone else, like you are living a happy life with someone else. They like, that's their worst nightmare. They don't want to see you like officially gone, not an option. So that's when they wouldn't come back to you because they don't want to get rejected. But let's talk about like why no contact works based on research. So according to psychological studies, Breakups can relieve stress, especially when someone felt trapped in their role within the relationship. So maintaining a misaligned relationship role causes role strain stress from trying to be someone you're not. Avoidants often feel this, like they can't meet your emotional needs, and it leads to disconnect. So when you go no contact, it allows them to heal and rebuild their self-esteem. It allows them to reassess their role in the relationship, and it allows space for actual growth and insight for both of you, okay? So time apart isn't just space, it's transformation. And that comes from a study from Camp Dush and Amato from 2005, as well as Wheaton from 1990. All in all, you guys, what I have to tell you is no contact isn't like a manipulative trick that you should use to win your ex back. You should definitely just look at no contact as an opportunity for you to see what life is like without this person, to find your passions, to find yourself. And if it's meant to be and they come back, that's wonderful. But if not, like the version of you that you'll be in like a couple of months or a year from now is going to be so different from the version of you that they broke up with. So like, even if they came back to you, you might not even want them. And I know that seems bizarre right now, but as time goes by and as you work on yourself and you find yourself and you love life, you'll start to see like, wait a second, that was the past. That was an old chapter. Like, I don't think I want to reread that chapter, you know? But that's to say, who's to say that, you know, they come back and it's actually perfect. Like, you worked on yourself, they worked on themselves, and now you guys are ready for the relationship that both of you want. So that could also be another option, and it's totally and completely possible. So if you want help with that, you want me to hear your story and kind of give you guidance on like what you should do, then feel free to book a call with me. Down below, I have video call coaching as well as email coaching. I also wrote a book, How to Get Over Your Avoidant Ex and Become Securely Attached. You might be interested in that. But that's it for this episode. You guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.